How's it going, you beautiful bastards? Welcome back to another gaming video. Today we're having a look at Marvel Rivals. So I have been playing this game for 30 days straight right now. Apparently I just got the achievement for that in-game, and then I decided to make this video. Or actually, it reminded me to make this video because I haven't made a review on this game yet, and I've been playing it for months now. The first video that I made of this game dates back, I think, 4 or 5 months ago, where I played the Marvel's Overwatch, it was titled. It didn't do very good because the channel was still quite new back then. But yeah, I did play the beta test for this game for about 20 hours or so. I remember that Star-Lord was much more powerful, and I'm pretty sure the Punisher's shotgun was much more dangerous than it is right now. And especially, like I said, Star-Lord. His ult was wild in the beta. But maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm just remembering stuff. But yeah, I remember the beta was tons of fun. I had like the red Hela outfit. I had all kinds of cool outfits from like Rocket Raccoon and everything. I do have to note before I actually get into this video that I am quite disappointed that they didn't give any of the beta testers or beta players a reward. I mean, usually when you do a beta test in a video game, even I remember once as a kid I did a Roblox beta test for a video game. I think the game was called Midnight Snack Attack at the time, MSA. And I remember being one of the beta players and getting like a special cosmetic when the game fully launched. And I expected that with this game as well. I at least expected to keep the outfits that I had earned in the beta, you know, because I had earned so many of them. But apparently no, you don't keep any progress from the beta, which was a little bit disappointing for me to say the least. But aside from that, now let's talk about the actual game, not the beta. So I have about 70 hours on it right now, and I'm still very bad at it. I'm still horrible, but it is still a very good game though. It is great. Like, this is what gaming needed in 2025 and 2024. Like, this game truly, it feels to me like it saved a part of gaming that we kind of like had that died out, because Overwatch 2 was a massive disappointment, not just for Overwatch fans but for everybody else that wanted to get into it. Overwatch was the main hero shooter after games like Team Fortress 2, and I remember Battleborn, if anybody else remembers that. That was like Concord before Concord, Battleborn, if that rings a bell for anybody out there. But yeah, so Overwatch was the big thing, and they kind of ruined it with the second game, and nothing else could really like scratch that itch for Overwatch. I mean, of course you could go back to Team Fortress 2, but the game hasn't been updated in almost a decade. You could go play Valorant, but it's just not the same. It feels more like a Counter-Strike ripoff that just installs software that spies on you on your PC. So it's not really worth it. And then boom, here comes these random ass developers pairing up with Marvel themselves and creating possibly one of the best games this last decade, to be honest. It takes the hero formula and it makes it 6 versus 6 in most of the game modes. It's 6 versus 6. It's very competitive. It's very sweaty. There is quite a steep learning curve if you want to get into this game. Believe me, it's going to take you hundreds of hours to actually get, like, feel like you're good at it. I have seen a lot of people recently that got into it that are brand new, that seem to really enjoy it and get quite hooked easily on it. Like one of my friends that I recently introduced to it, he has like almost 30 hours now, and he only installed it like last week. And this is a man with like a job and a family and shit. So, you know, the game has him quite hooked. And, you know, obviously everybody tries out a bunch of heroes and villains, trying to find which one suits their playstyle best, which one they enjoy the most. But one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of people either stick with one character or they cycle between a few, like I do. But I definitely do suggest trying out all of the characters that are available on the roster, because you might just find one that you didn't expect to be good, or maybe one that you played with for like 10 minutes and you dropped it, and turns out it was actually your hidden main. So I definitely do suggest playing with all of the characters to really like feel which one fits you the most. And there's no shame or no problem with playing with multiple characters. I actually suggest that, because if you have one main in this game, obviously somebody else could lock in with it, and then you're kind of screwed. So I definitely suggest having a few mains. So far I've mostly been playing with a Jeff the Land Shark. I ain't gonna lie, I'm having a really good time with him. I do think that there's better healers. I think that Mantis, I started playing a lot with Mantis recently. She's a little bit better than Jeff, in my opinion, but Jeff is still much more fun with that ultimate ability of his, where you can literally just grab like 6 people at the same time and commit seppuku with them. That is so much fun. You can even do it with your own teammates, by the way, which is something I've done a few times. I can't believe I haven't been like banned from this game yet for all of the griefing that I've done with Jeff. But yeah, Jeff's really fun. I'm enjoying Mantis. I've been playing a lot with Punisher, as you can see in the background of this video. I got really good with Punisher, even in the beta. In the beta, I mostly played with Punisher. And back then he was much more powerful. Now he's not as powerful anymore, but you can really still have a lot of fun with him and his abilities. I've also been playing a lot recently with, what's his name again, Iron Fist. Iron Fist is a ton of fun. I feel like the higher the ranks get, or like the more skilled players you play against, obviously you're gonna have a like hard time with a close quarters combat character like that. But I'm still enjoying Iron Fist a lot. It's great fun fisting people from behind and them just standing there defenselessly accepting their death. It's amazing. It's peak. Now, yeah, so there is a lot to unpack in this game. There is not just a steep learning curve, but there is a lot to learn. There's a lot to take in. You can like very easily get overwhelmed when you start off with this game due to the massive roster of characters. Literally each of them different and unique in their own way, and literally within the next few weeks we're getting the Fantastic Four as well, so we're getting more characters added literally almost by the day. So there's a lot to keep track of in this game. If you're somebody that plays a lot of other games or isn't like planning on being very active in this specific game, you know, like keeping track with the news, the updates, and, you know, just playing it on a regular basis, like almost daily, then it's going to be a bit hard to get into this game. It's going to be hard without a bit of commitment. You're really going to have to commit a bit to this game to really get into it. But like I said earlier, I've seen people like get into it and immediately have a lot of fun, immediately like get a lot of good games and everything like that. Even if you're bad at video games or not a PvE player, whatever, you could still get into this and have a lot of fun. There's a bunch of different playstyles, of course. You could be a tank, you could run in and just eat bullets, smashing shit. You could fist people with Iron Fist. I highly suggest trying that. That's a lot of fun, especially since it has kind of like an auto lock-on thingy, which is very annoying. He's quite overpowered if played correctly. You can like be DPS, you know, you can fly around with Iron Man if you'd like to. You could like pop a turret with Punisher. I mean, there's a lot of like different playstyles that kind of cater towards everybody and their unique way of doing things. And if you're not very aggressive and you want to be more passive and you want to be more of a team player and somebody that is very underrated in the community, underappreciated, more to say, but somebody that is definitely needed, and that is a healer. We all need healers in our games, so if you're planning on playing this and being a healer, you will be blessed and you will receive 2,000 V-Bucks for free, okay? I'm saying that right now. I'm not even lying. Why would I lie to you? You'll literally receive that just for free randomly one day. I don't know how it's going to happen. Maybe Mr. Beast is going to show up to your door, you know, give you a high five, a bit of a spanking, and then boom, here's your V-Bucks. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen, okay? Because you're going to be blessed. God himself, all of the gods, actually all of them out there, they're going to bless you. They're going to bless you, and you're going to receive many blessings if you're a healer main in this game. Because believe me, we need healers. That brings me to the point. Communication is key in life, and not just in relationships but also in Marvel Rivals. If you want to let it work, you've really got to communicate with your team and everything, which is a sad thing because most people don't know how their microphone works. Some people are having issues with the microphone, like me myself. Every time that I log into this game and I want to use the voice chat, I have to enable and to disable the voice chat feature for it to actually function. So that's a little bug that I'm hoping they are aware of. But yeah, communication is very important in these games, but playing this game solo or with like one friend or something, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. It's going to be hard and difficult because most people, like I said, I don't think they even know that there's a push to talk functionality, or most people probably, they don't even have their like microphone, like voice chat enabled or something, because I don't know what it is, but yeah, most people are just mute in this game. They're either mute, deaf, or both, and that makes communication a bit hard. That makes playing the game hard because it is clearly a very team-focused game. There's a big emphasis on teamwork and, you know, uniting with your squad, teaming up, using team up abilities, all kinds of stuff like that. And obviously, you know, you're going to need your healer. There, you know, you could really go into this and plan it out with like a group of people, and you could probably feel like the motherfucking Avengers themselves. You could coordinate your attacks, you could all play the required roles and everything, and you're probably going to have a really good time playing this game. If you go into this with like an entire lobby of people, you need like 6 people at least to have a full lobby in this game. So if you and 5 of your homies are planning on playing this game, you can send them all this review as well, and just clip this little part over here and tell them that you should play this together. Definitely play this game together, because if you're planning on playing this solo or with like one friend or so, it's not going to be very enjoyable. And that's just like the casual modes. The competitive is far worse, because they actually do use their microphones, but they use it to curse at you. And I mean, some of those words are so nasty, not even Moses himself would be able to wash you clean. So I don't know, man. Competitive in this game, I don't care who you are or what you are, stay away from it. Competitive is a nightmare. I mean, I have a lot of reasons for me personally why competitive is a nightmare, and that is like, there's a lot of facts, and one of them is the fact that I'm playing on like 200 plus ping. I'm like constantly on either 170 or 200 ping. Because this game doesn't have local South African servers, that's probably not going to be a problem for most of the people watching this. But yeah, the closest servers to me is in the Middle East. I think it's Danman, and unfortunately, I mean, the servers are great, but unfortunately that's still a bit quite a distance away from me. So I don't have local servers. That obviously impacts my game plan, my experience a little bit, so do note that. But yeah, my competitive has been a very difficult experience. It feels like a lot of people, they all just want to play with what they want to play. There's no communication. I feel like it's really something that you need actual friends or teammates, that actually have microphones to go into. I mean, you could go ahead and hop into this game's Discord. It'll reward you greatly with some in-game like currency, and you could probably find some people there to play with as well. But yeah, for me, the ping in this game has been a little bit of a problem. The fact that we don't have local servers, it's not that bad to the point where I can't play the game. It just does affect me to the point where I feel like a lot of the times I die because of my connection issues. Another thing that I want to talk about is the optimization for this game. That's a key point to most of my reviews. I have a decent setup right now. It's quite a bit of a beast of a PC, even if I do say so myself. I mean, it's not the greatest, it's not the best, but it usually does handle everything or anything that I do throw at it. And I remember even in the beta, the optimization for this game is absolute garbage. I mean, it's horrible. There's a big emphasis recently online with the fact that you're obviously better at the game if you have more FPS. I mean, if you have 160 FPS and you play with Wolverine, you're absolutely going to shred some ass compared to the Wolverine with like 60 FPS. I mean, that's common video game knowledge when it comes to like the frames per second and everything in video games, but I mean, that's also a problem in competitive games. It's not necessarily something that can be fixed, not necessarily something that can be done about that, but they could definitely like try optimizing the game a little bit better. I mean, it does run on the Unreal 5 engine, so it's a bit hard, I guess, to make this run well on all kinds of systems, but I definitely do think that they can improve it a little bit. I recently started like switching all of my graphics and everything to the lowest setting, and I get a total of like, maybe if I'm lucky, it's 60 frames, but it's usually as unstable as my relationships, where it just hops around from like 100 frames to 30 frames, and then 30 to 40, like stably. And then sometimes I'm lucky and I get like 60 to 70. It's very like all over the place. Okay, so the optimization of this game is quite bad. I do hope that they will work on that in the future. Visually, I have to say, the game looks great. I mean, it looks great. It's got kind of like a comic book in a way, like art style. If you play this on the highest settings and you really have a look at the graphics, everything looks great. I mean, it's very immersive. All of the heroes look great. The concepts of the villains and the heroes in this game, all of the characters are all very unique, very cool. All of the outfits in the game are very cool for them. All the unique outfits, all of the unique characters and their abilities. It's all just a very unique concept, even though a lot of people say, oh yeah, they obviously like copied Overwatch. Maybe they took some inspiration from it, but there's just so much uniqueness to this game. There's just so much, like, I don't know, something that just really awakens your inner child. I guess maybe it's a bit tied to nostalgia and the fact that your favorite Marvel heroes are in this game and your favorite Marvel villains. I mean, it's just so much fun. seeing these characters from your childhood brought into this new age, for a newer target demographic, just revisiting it, seeing it again. And I mean, just look at the spin that they took on the characters, the approach. I mean, Punisher looks badass, Wolverine looks really cool, Thor looks lit. I mean, all of them are just so cool, and I think that it really just makes a man drool. You feel me? It makes a man drool. Visually looks great. I do wish that the optimization was better though. The sound design is great, everything from the voice acting and the lines, which I do wish they had an option to disable the lines in game, because sometimes when I'm jamming my music, beating my meat to Black Widow's cheeks, I don't want to hear Jeff like wow 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 dun 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 rah. I don't want to hear his weird ass shitty sounds talking with Squirrel Girl yapping in the background, or Spider-Man roasting the shit out of Captain America like it's South Park. I don't want any of that. So I hope they will be able to add an option where you can disable the voice lines. But I do think that a lot of the dialogue in this game is pretty cool. It makes it feel much more like home, I guess, much more immersive, like story-driven in a sense. There's definitely a bit of a lore that this game has to it. And they're definitely going to expand upon that, I can tell. But yeah, the concept of the game, the gameplay is great. Like I said, there's a few different modes as well. We've got the Conquest, we had the snow-themed mode. I don't know if that's still available in the game, but that was quite fun, where it's a 4 versus 4 Jeff battle. That was nice. And you've got your quick play, which there's not a lot of problems when it comes to the game modes. Conquest, I wish, had more maps in the map pool. I think more people would play it that way, and we would be able to get matches quicker. Speaking of getting matches quick, the matchmaking in this game is on fire. Literally, you would left click on start match, and before your left click even registers, you'll already have found a match. That is insane. I know a lot of people would say that's because it's still new, but I mean, we're a month in and still the matchmaking is instant in most cases, no matter what time you play, no matter what server you play on. So that is great, definitely something that it has going for it, which brings me to the point, like some of the loading screens and everything does go quite fast. I definitely do suggest playing this on an SSD if you're playing it on PC. Playing this on an old hard drive will make your loading times unbearable. And honestly, like I said, the loading times aren't bad for the game. It does move quite fast, but there's a lot of intermissions in the game, if that makes sense, where, you have to wait like a few seconds to actually get into the game. Then you have to wait like a minute for everybody to choose their hero. Then you've got to wait for this. Then you've got to wait for that. It does feel like it could be a bit faster. Also, like the maps, some of the maps aren't necessarily too big, because there aren't a lot of freedom in the maps. Like, you can't just swing around out of bounds or anything like that, which kind of sucks. I wish they could work and improve upon that a little bit, where there's more freedom, swinging around with Venom or Spider-Man, or flying with Storm or Iron Man. So I wish there was a bit more freedom in the maps, and I also do wish that they could make it a little bit smaller, in the sense of, I don't want to run 5 minutes to the objective, honest to God. I mean, I just died by a solo alt motherfucking Iron Man that said Jarvis clipped that and posted on TikTok. I don't want to run 10 minutes to the objective, you feel me? I want to be there into the action. I want to get closer, nice, up and personal. This isn't in all of the cases and on all of the maps, but in most cases, you'll have to walk back like it's motherfucking Dark Souls 1. And other than that, I think that the quick play, the only problem with quick play is the fact that sometimes it just puts you into a match where people are losing, and they're losing on 99%. You just load it in and then boom, you lost, and then you're like, what the fuck just happened over here? But no, they just threw you into the deep end, and even though you were Jeff, you couldn't swim, motherfucker. So sometimes they'll throw you into a match that's almost done or halfway through, which kind of sucks. You can't leave it because you'll get a penalty. This game is very big on penalties though. Like, if somebody throws on your side in competitive, or even in a quick play match, somebody's AFK and you report them, they will take action almost immediately. It's like the admins or whatever are just constantly sitting working on this game, trying to ban people and penalize them and stuff, which I do respect. It's definitely something that we do need. Speaking of throwing, there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of teammates that throw. There's going to be a lot of toxicity in the game, but I mean, hey, that's something expected from literally any online multiplayer game, and it kind of makes you feel at home. It reminds me, or it reminds us all of like the Overwatch times, you know, peak Overwatch and kind of like Valorant and Counter-Strike and stuff. A lot of Toxicity. Imagine if it had like, what's it called? Proximity chat. I think that would be hilarious. But yeah, this game has a lot to unpack. I haven't even scratched the tip of it yet. This was just the tip, okay? And, you know, I could go full on in and have more things to say about it, because I do have a lot of things to say about it, but y'all don't have the time to sit here and listen to me yapping for another hour. So what I'm gonna say is, do try this game out for yourself if you're looking for something that's fun, for something that's addictive, something that's multiplayer. If you're a fan of the Marvel franchise, you're definitely gonna have a wet dream after playing this video game. And yeah, I mean, if you're an Overwatch player, Team Fortress, Paladin, whatever you used to play that's similar to this, and all of those games are dead. I hate to say it, but this is the next big thing, most likely. I mean, it already is, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger from here. The developers have already proved that. So definitely hop on the Marvel Rivals trend and try it out for yourself. You most likely won't regret it. Stay away from competitive, even if they're trying to get you to play it with that cool free Moon Knight skin. Competitive is horrible. If you have a full team to play with, then I definitely do suggest it. This game is cross-play and cross-platform, which is great, except for competitive though. You can't play competitive with your friends on like console, for example, if you're on PC, which kind of sucks, since you can do it in quick play, but you can't do it in competitive. So that's just another one of the reasons why I don't suggest competitive play. There's definitely a lot that can like still be done there to improve upon competitive and the competitive matchmaking. Speaking of the matchmaking isn't too bad. I feel like there's going to be a lot of games where this game is kind of like the scenario: you win some, you lose most. That's kind of going to be it. You know, one match you're going to win, you're going to do great, you're probably going to get MVP, and then the next 2-3 matches you're going to get absolutely ass blasted, like Meek Mill at a Diddy party. You feel me? And that's probably going to be the cycle. You get better at the game, but like I said, it's quite a steep learning curve. If you're hopping on from like Overwatch or something, you might feel used to a lot of the characters and stuff in this game, so you might be a lot better at it than most. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up my review. I don't have much to say about the music. The music sounded great. Visually, it looked good. Optimization's quite shit. They need to work on that. But yeah, it's far from flawless, but I do think that it's something that the online gaming industry needed now. And I do think that it's a great game, and I highly recommend it. So I'm going to go ahead and give Marvel Rivals a solid 8.5 out of 10. That's very great. 8.5 out of 10. Definitely do check it out. If you enjoyed this review, or if you enjoy Marvel Rivals content, please do hit subscribe and check out some of my other videos. And if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and comment your thoughts down below. Have an amazing day, and I'll see y'all again in the next video. Peace out.